What up, YouTube? All right, I just wanted to make a short little video on some of the progress I made this weekend. I didn't get too much done, or it doesn't seem like it. I worked probably about 15 hours this weekend on the boat. Did a little bit of work to the transom. I got a surprise for you guys, but you'll just have to wait and see later on in the video what the surprise is. But I'm going to start off showing you guys what I've got done to the transom this weekend, and we'll move on to the rest of the boat. So hang tight. All right, so I got the caps glass back on. Starting to look a little bit more like a transom now. Pretty cool. So I got to grind it down a little bit. Obviously, the transom didn't go back in the perfect shape. So, I mean, it kind of bulged out a little bit. Like right there, you can kind of tell. But, yeah. I mean, it's starting to look like the back of a boat again. So, got a little bit of fairing to do to it. And I'm going to go over this area plenty more times with more fiberglass just to make sure it's nice and strong. And I'm going to grind down some of those little spots here and there, like right there where it didn't go back perfectly flat and stuff. I'm going to grind all that down and get some fairing compound later on before I go to paint it. But yeah, that's your update on the transom so far. So if you guys have watched the previous videos, you may remember that there was a huge hole right here. So when I was pouring the transom and I put that 2x4 up top, it actually squeezed out probably almost 1.5 gallons. So I poured 10 gallons in it. It squeezed out about 1.5 gallons. So what I did is I took this piece of fiberglass that I cut out from where the pedestal mounts, took that and broke it in half really quick, and I fiberglassed it down just to cover up that hole a little bit, and then I went ahead and poured the rest of the C-cast in this hole right here. So I have yet to figure out if that was a good idea or not, but they do make C-cast for decks and floors. So I was like, you know, I'm not going to waste $150 worth of product, and I'd rather not cut out that weird shape with the wood anyways and have more wood in the boat that could possibly rot in the future. So yeah, that's what I did with it. I'm pretty happy with it. I've stood on it a couple times and it's still not even at full thickness yet. So you can see I got to come up almost another 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is probably just order another gallon of C-cast, or I may just order a whole nother 5-gallon bucket, because I think a gallon is $100, or you can order a 5-gallon bucket for $200, in case I do end up needing some of it for the floor. So I told you guys that I wasn't going to pull up the floor, but I did it anyways. So yeah, I pulled the floor up. I got all the waterlogged foam out. I got about 2 trash bags full of it. And I mean, dude, this stuff is soaking wet. This stuff is literally like, it's nasty. So yeah, there it is. But the stringers seem to be in decent shape. So I think what I'm gonna do is, you can see that lip that's coming down off the wall, the gunnels. There's a little, probably about 1.5 inch or 2 inch lip that goes all the way around. But the problem is, so you can see there's about 1.5 inches to 2 inches between the stringer and that lip. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to probably end up taking some of these 2x2s over here that I have laying around, and I'm going to glass those to the top of the stringers, and I'm going to set the plywood right on that lip. So the plywood's going to end up being 3/4 of an inch taller than stock. And the way that guy had it, you can see, I mean, that floor was literally like 10 pieces of wood. But what I'm going to end up doing is, yeah, so the floor is going to be about 3/4 of an inch taller than stock, which is no big deal. I'm super happy that I decided to take it up, because over here, and this whole stringer did not have any foam in it at all. And over here was completely full of the old foam. So, I mean, there was probably 200 pounds of wet foam on the right side of the boat. So there's no way it would have sat right in the water. There's just no way. And plus, over here, it was kind of soft. Like, I was trying to tell myself in my head that the floor was going to be fine, just because, like, I've already got so much other crap to do to this boat. And, but no, I was like, no, I'm already going this far, and I'm going to be using this boat for my business and everything. So it needs to be right. It needs to be right, and it needs to be tight, and it needs to be safe. But, so I'm going to build the stringers up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, whatever it takes to get it close enough to that lip. I'm going to fiberglass the bottom of the plywood, lay it down, screw it in, and then I'm going to drill holes in it. I'm going to pour the foam in so it makes the exact correct mold shape. It's going to add a lot of rigidity to the hull. It's going to add rigidity to the floor. It's going to add sound deadening to the floor when you're walking around. It's not going to let as much sound come through. Like, all in all, it's just, and it's going to add flotation. So if the boat ever gets swamped, you know? So, yeah, I mean, all in all, pretty happy with my decision to take the floor up. All right, well, that's your little update on the boat. Like I said, working on boats is kind of weird. So you don't always feel like you're making a lot of progress. Like, you can work 20 hours on a boat and not feel like you're making any progress at all. But, you know, every day that you work on it is another day closer to having it done. So I'm hoping to have it done by springtime. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't take like 2 years. It kind of seems like, you know, I want the boat to be as nice as it can be, as nice as I can make it, and as safe as possible. So it kind of just, with things like this, it seems like one thing leads to another, and you want it to be as right as possible, but also you don't want to spend too much money or too much time, and you want to have it done by a certain date or whatever the case may be. But like I said, I'm super happy with my decision to pull the floor up, because I kind of had a hunch that the guy that had it before me did some shoddy work to it. I mean, I'm sure the floor was fine for him or whatever, but the amount of money and the amount of time that I'm putting into this boat, I want everything to be as right as possible. So, like I said, super happy with my decision to pull the floor up. Next weekend, hopefully I'll have the closed cell foam in. I got to go get a sheet of plywood. I should be able to do the whole boat with one sheet. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so next weekend is going to be the floor. And also I have to order more sea cast. We already talked about that. I got to grind down some stuff back here and get the final layer of fiberglass, get it faired on the transom. So once I get the floor done and that front deck, I mean, I don't necessarily have to get the floor and the front deck done before paint, but I would like to get the floor all glassed in that way, and the front deck that way. Once I paint it, like, it'll be ready to throw carpet down, and then I can get started on the motor. So, dude, the motor video is going to be like a masterpiece, I'm hoping, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to rebuild all 3 of the carburetors, put new plugs in it. I'm going to put a water pump in it, lower unit oil. I'm going to take every single gasket off of that motor and replace it. And I'm going to completely degrease it and sand it down and paint it. So it's literally, that's going to be a whole restoration video within itself. So I hope you guys are following along on this. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I'm working as hard as I can on it. I haven't made much content. This is only going to be like my 4th or 5th video. But hopefully they're getting better and you guys are enjoying it and getting some value out of it. Because if you guys aren't getting value out of it, there's no point in me doing it. But yeah, every video I post, though, the views get higher and higher. So I really hope you'll subscribe to help me get to that 1,000 mark. That way I can start hopefully monetizing some stuff. And because since I'm trying to get out of the like 9-to-5 slavery bullshit, like, I don't know, I just want like financial freedom for myself and my family. And this boat is going to be a cornerstone for that, because I'm going to be opening up a guide business. I don't care what anybody says. You don't have to have a $150,000 brand new boat every single year to be a fishing guide. Like, as long as the boat's safe and it's clean and it's well maintained and everything's organized, like, I don't care. As long as you can put me on some fish and we can have a fun time, you know, and get back to the ramp safely, that's all that matters, like, as far as being a fishing guide is concerned, in my opinion. So, yeah, but I really hope you'll subscribe, like I was saying, getting back on track, because with starting this business and everything, all of that is going to go hand in hand. So I might be able to make a little bit of money off YouTube here and there. I might be able to monetize on Facebook and stuff like that. But the more views and stuff I have and the more subscribers, like, that'll obviously help me get to that point. So I would really appreciate it. But all right, man. I'm going to get back to work on this boat, and I know it wasn't like a super informative video. Sorry, I was getting a scam likely call about my car's extended warranty. I know it wasn't like a super informative video, but nobody that's redoing a boat needs to know how to cut a deck up and take foam out. You know what I mean? So I didn't take too much, or if any at all, video about that, just because it's super self-explanatory. So if you are going to cut the deck out of a boat, you want to leave 2 inches around the entire perimeter, basically, so that you have something to tab to when you put the new floor down. So that's really the most important part. And then you can just get a scraper and start chipping away at that foam and get as much of the foam out as possible. On a boat like this, you're not going to be able to get all of it because it goes up under places and stuff that you don't want to cut out. So get as much of it as possible, because that foam is going to add a lot of rigidity to the hull and the floor and flotation. So, all right, guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. Like and subscribe, share it with somebody. All right, peace.